I'm Dr. Biaggi, and this is your Musicology Smackdown. Oh, hello. You may be wondering what in Zeus's name I'm doing. Well, to those of you who have to guess, you obviously have no idea that Sting's new album is being released this week. And to those of you who have failed to grasp the epic significance of this event, I apparently also need to explain that I am limbering up for a tantric sex marathon with the man who single-handedly brought us Fragile, The Russians, Fields of Gold, Roxanne, Why Should I Cry for You, and Every Breath She Takes, among others. There are few things in life that will cause a crack in Dr. Biaggi's cold, sardonic exterior. Old Jewish men playing canasta, a goose being brutally overfed to make a delicious hunk of foie gras, and the unmitigated hotness formerly known as Gordon Sumner. I know what you're thinking. Doesn't Sting now cater almost exclusively to postmenopausal soccer moms? On the surface it may seem so, but in my heart I know that Sting is using his new album to get to me. Let me explain. The new album is called Symphonicities. Sting must obviously have caught wind of the fact that I am an internationally renowned musicologist whose show has a devoted online following, albeit of closet cases, tween-aged girls, sexually frustrated professors, and those suffering from bipolar disorder. Nevertheless, in an obvious bid for my attention, Sting has recruited the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra in an effort to make his music more accessible to someone of my musical intellectual caliber. We saw something similar a few years ago when he released his Lute album while I was finishing up my dissertation on, what's that you ask? Renaissance music. The album, Songs from the Labyrinth, featured the music of 16th century composer John Dowland, which Sting arranged for his own voice and two archlutes. Are you kidding me? That's like porn for Dr. Biaggi. So clearly, the fact that he's now hired an entire orchestra with which to serenade me is proof that all he wants to do is moi, moi, moi. Symphonicities is comprised of Sting's most celebrated songs, reimagined for symphonic arrangement. The new album is being released as a companion piece to his world tour, the ticket prices for which are insane, but obviously so because he's going to need to pay Trudy Styler a shit ton of alimony when he leaves that bitch for me. But let's backtrack a bit. Sting got his nickname when he wore a yellow and black sweater while performing with an English jazz group, and not, as I have been spreading far and wide, for what I can only imagine is an enormous tantric schlong. With a name like that, you either end up a wrestler, a serial killer, or a pop musician, and we can count our lucky stars he went for the last option. While with the reggae-tinged rock and minimalist pop band The Police, Sting wrote some of the greatest songs of the last 25 years, including the yes, it's a creepy tale of obsession, but it's still awesome, Every Breath You Take, from their 1983 album Synchronicity. By the time the early 90s rolled around, Sting was in rare form, and a young Dr. Biaggi was primed to buy her first album. Being a dour young nerd with a soft spot for older English gentlemen, I went to my local Radio Shack and immediately seized upon Sting's Soul Cages, the bleak, maritime-themed collection of paternal love and death at sea. With tracks like All This Time and Why Should I Cry for You, it's a wonder I wasn't institutionalized for listening to nothing else, not even human speech, for a year after buying it. The album went platinum, and the son of a bitch followed it up with 10 Summoner's Tales, which went triple platinum. You don't know devotion until you've watched Sting's home movies of the making of that album, and have spent literally 45 minutes at a time rewinding the part where he does some insane sex flexibility yoga thing in a doorway. Absolutely nothing to do with the album, but I'm sure he knew I was going to watch it, and that is why it's in there. Sting has long been an activist, fighting for human rights, social justice, the rainforests, and making his mark around the world. His activism and celebrity have led him to team up with some of the biggest names in music. Some years back, Sting joined Sir Paul McCartney, Eric Clapton, Sir Elton John, Phil Collins, and Mark Knopfler at London's Royal Albert Hall for what can only be described as the world's most star-studded collective prostate exam. Well, no matter how old or pretentious he gets, Sting will always have a Dr. Biaggi waiting to lure him into her bosom with a song. Every breath you take, and every move you make, every bond you break, every step you take, I'll be watching you. every single day, and every word you say, every game you play, every night you stay, I'll be watching you. Oh, can't you see, you belong to me? How my poor heart aches with every step you take, every move you make. Trudy, just face it, he's mine. Sting, you know you want me, baby. I want you too. What's that? Every little thing she does is magic was written about me? I always thought so. Of course I'll come live with you in England. You won't regret it. I'm really limber. What do you think? Turn it up.